why many feel betrayed by Washington.
You feel like your congressman sold you out?
Yes, absolutely.
Election day in France, voters casting their ballots in a presidential runoff between the centrist frontrunner Emmanuel Macron and the far-right candidate Marine Le Pen. The hacking just hours before voters hit the polls, emails and documents, some of them fake, leaked on social media. Will it affect the outcome?
ABC News exclusive, a former Penn State fraternity member speaking out about the night a pledge died at a frat party, allegedly falling down a flight of stairs and saying his concerns fell on deaf ears.
They said, no, you're overreacting, you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, no, I really do know what I'm talking about. He could have a concussion.
More of what he saw that night as almost 20 students now face charges.
And this morning, brush fires fueled by tinderbox conditions in the south. Flames coming dangerously close to roads. Helicopters called in to help. Mandatory evacuations and dense smoke advisories. The fight to keep it all contained.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Hey guys, lesson 101 in live TV. Make sure your phones are turned on.
I thought it was my phone as Adrian's Siri is screaming at us right as we're going on the air.
I didn't very popular.
Yeah.
All
Good
right,
morning,
guys.
America.
Good.
That's how I feel
morning.
throughout
We're on
the
TV
show.
now.
Yes,
All right,
that's
everybody. Rob's not in studio with us this morning, having fun, because as we come on the air, the annual Wings for Life World Run is starting simultaneously in 24 different countries. There are hundreds of thousands of people taking part. Rob is right in that mix in Florida, all with the goal of raising money for spinal cord research. We're going to be checking in on his progress throughout the show.
It's amazing to watch him do the forecast while panting.
I know.
Stay tuned for that.
It's a little uncomfortable.
We do want to get straight to the news, though, first here. Right now, voters are hitting the polls in a high-stakes presidential race that is proving to be something of a proxy war between Donald Trump and Barack Obama. President Trump has voiced support for the far-right candidate who's hoping to be the next president of France, Marine Le Pen. She's anti-immigrant, critical of Islam, and wants to take France out of the European Union.
Now, former President Obama has given a rare formal endorsement for Le Pen's rival, Emmanuel Macron, a pro-immigration, pro-EU centrist. As voters hit the polls this morning, no one really knows what the impact will be of a major hack of the Macron campaign, which some are already pinning on the Russians, really an eerie echo of the 2016 U.S. presidential race.
Indeed. Meanwhile, back here at home, America's divisions on stark display as Republicans who voted for that bill to repeal and replace Obamacare face anger at town halls this weekend. We'll have a full report on that, and George is standing by with analysis. But we start here with ABC's Terry Moran, who's covering the voting in France. Terry.
Good morning, Dan, from this polling station in central Paris. This is the most important election in France in decades, deciding the future of this country, maybe of Europe. And today will test the strength of that populist nationalist wave that took Britain out of the European Union in Brexit and put Donald Trump in the White House. So there's a lot at stake here, and French voters know it. This morning, across France, massive voter turnout as the French head to the polls to choose between two political outsiders. Emmanuel Macron, a 39-year-old former investment banker, a moderate. He's leading in polls by 20 points and more. His rival, Marine Le Pen, the far-right leader pushing a nationalist vision of protectionism, closed borders, and suppressing some Islamic practices. Both candidates come from outside the major parties here, a sign of deep dissatisfaction with politics as usual. The election today shadowed by a series of terrorist attacks and a nearly 10% unemployment rate. Bitter debates and protests have marked the race, and at the 11th hour, a dramatic disruption. Macron's campaign, like Hillary Clinton's, was the target of a massive computer hack. Macron's campaign confirming the hack, saying it primarily consists of personal and professional emails, but adding there are fakes and forgeries mixed in there too. But voters we spoke with say the sabotage efforts won't impact their vote.
For me, it doesn't change a single thing into the kind of choice we have to make today.
If we lose the euro, why, we're back to where we were ever so many years ago.
And American leaders are getting involved. Macron endorsed just days ago by former President Barack Obama.
I am supporting Emmanuel Macron to lead you forward.
And while President Trump says he will not explicitly endorse either candidate, he did declare that Le Pen is strongest on borders, and she's the strongest on what's been going on in France. So the whole world is watching. The bookies in London, they've made Emmanuel Macron an odds-on favorite. Le Pen a 15-1 underdog. Turnout will be key. The higher, the better for Macron. And so far, it looks like turnout is strong here. Dan and Paula?
Terry, you are right. The world is watching. Thanks for your reporting from Paris. And as we said, this is a weekend of frustration and uncertainty in American politics as well, with Republicans who voted to repeal and replace Obamacare facing fiery town halls like this.
President Trump steadfastly stands by this new bill, but meanwhile, there's another story looming having to do with the investigations into possible connections between Team Trump and Russia.
ABC's David Wright is with the president in Bedminster, New Jersey this morning. Hi, David.
Hi, Paula. Hi, Dan. Republican lawmakers are now hearing loud and clear from constituents who don't like some of the provisions of that new GOP health care bill. At town hall meetings and in other forums, a lot of those constituents are saying they feel betrayed.
These are human beings. We have bodies, we have minds.
In upstate New York, Congressman Tom Reed reassured his constituents that people with pre-existing conditions needn't worry about the Republican bill.
The bill protects the pre-existing condition.
In fact, the bill rolls back the Affordable Care Act's protections for patients with pre-existing conditions. Health insurers would still have to cover them, but the bill includes a mechanism allowing insurance companies to raise rates on those patients, possibly even making their insurance unaffordable. In Idaho, Congressman Raul Labrador pushed back at a constituent who told him without access to health care, people will die.
That line is so indefensible. Nobody dies because they don't have access to health care.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Frelinghuysen's got to go.
Here in New Jersey, Congressman Rodney Frelinghuysen switched his vote from no to yes just last week.
I support looking after pre-existing conditions.
He was holding my letter in his hand, yes, when he said that.
Adina Renfro-Michel survived stage 4 breast cancer, now in remission thanks to these pills.
So it's called Ibrance?
Ibrance.
They cost $11,000 a month, more than she earns.
$500 a pill.
Yeah. But it's saving my life.
You feel like your congressman sold you out?
Yes, absolutely. I am furious.
Here in New Jersey, the president continues to be a little bit defensive about his decision to come to Bedminster, saying that the reason that he's staying here and not in New York City is that it would be much more expensive and disruptive to go there, meetings. But check out this picture. He's also taking some time to lower his handicap. Dan, Paula?
Yeah, and a lot of that's still on the taxpayer's dime. Okay, so a lot of angst and anxiety about the health care, but let's talk about something else. Congress has been exploring the impact of Russia on the election, and this week Sally Yates is set to testify. David, what can you tell us about that?
That's right. She is the former top Justice Department official. She was the acting attorney general at the beginning of the Trump administration. She is going to testify for the very first time tomorrow before a Senate committee, and she'll be talking about the warnings that she gave the administration about Michael Flynn, the former national security advisor, and his contacts with Russia. Also, of course, surveillance is going to be on the question list. Dan and Paula?
David Wright, thank you very much. Let's bring in our chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, who's going to be hosting this week later this morning. Hey, so let's start with Sally Yates. How consequential do you expect this testimony to be?
Well, it's likely to be quite dramatic. I think we can say that for sure. This is the first time that most Americans are going to see her. They're going to hear the warning she gave directly to the White House about Michael Flynn. Whether that will change his ultimate story is hard to know. But remember this. Flynn is actually an official, even though he's left the administration, who's facing some legal jeopardy. He's trying to get immunity in order to testify. I think one of the issues there will be, what is his story? What will he say? Would that change if he indeed got immunity?
All right, so let's go back to health care. Democrats, of course, see this as a window of opportunity to take advantage of, even take back the House of Representatives. And you have exclusively Paul Ryan on the show this morning. Do you think he should be worried about this?
Well, that's one of the questions I'm going to ask him. You know, one of the things we saw, remember back in 2010, after the Democrats voted for Obamacare in 2009, they got wiped out. in the 2010 midterm elections. They believe exactly the same thing is going to happen to Republicans this time around because they're taking away a benefit that a lot of people feel they already have. At least that's the argument the Democrats are going to make. You see a lot of energy on the Democratic side. I think the big question out there, 2018 is still a couple of years away. We don't know what's going to happen with the bill, whether it's even going to get through the Senate or not, how much change is going to happen inside the Senate, whether it will get to the president's desk. So there are a lot of unknowns out there, but Democrats are energized right now.
Let's talk about the elections in France happening right now. What kind of impact do you think we'll see, if any, from the outcome there?
One of the things we're already seeing is you saw that last-minute revelation on Friday night, just before the blackout in the French elections, that the Russians, it appears, also hacked the French election. So a correspondence to America right here. I think it depends on what happens. If Marine Le Pen defies the odds and actually wins, that could be a major change for the United States. We know that France wants to pull out of the EU, wants to pull back from NATO. That would be a major change. Macron would be a little bit more status quo, at least with the relationship with the United States. So if he wins, I wouldn't expect a huge, huge impact. If Marine Le Pen wins, earthquake.
Earthquake. George Stephanopoulos, thank you very much. And a reminder, George has a big show this morning, including that exclusive interview with House Speaker Paul Ryan, his first since the GOP health care bill passed. That's coming up later this morning on This Week, right here on ABC's. Thanks, George.
Yeah, looking forward to that interview with Paul Ryan. Thanks, George. And now to an ABC News exclusive. A former fraternity brother in the Penn State frat house where a pledge recently died is speaking out, sharing horrifying details.
ABC's Eva Pilgrim is here with what he says happened on the night of that alleged hazing incident. Eva, good morning to you.
Good morning. The Beta fraternity kicked off campus after a pledge died in their house right on Penn State's campus. This morning, we hear from the one brother who wanted to call for help and find out how his fellow brothers reacted when he spoke up.
This morning, a Penn State fraternity brother speaking out. Almost 20 of his fellow brothers now facing charges 3 months after a pledge died at their frat party.
I walked into the room and I saw Timothy lying on the couch. At first, I'm thinking he probably had way too much to drink. He could possibly have alcohol poisoning.
19-year-old Beta Theta Pi pledge Timothy Piazza fell down a staircase inside the fraternity's house on the evening of February 4th. Prosecutors saying one brother even allegedly texting he fell 15 feet down a flight of stairs, hair first, going to need help. Cordell Davis says despite his repeated pleas to call 911, no one did. Fellow brothers pushing him against the wall when he spoke up.
They said, no, you're overreacting, you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, no, I really do know what I'm talking about. He could have a concussion.
This didn't have to happen.
Prosecutors say in the hours leading up to the fall, the brothers made the pledges participate in a hazing ritual known as the Gauntlet.
They bring the pledges and make them go from station to station and drink copious amounts of alcohol really quickly.
So basically, it seemed like they just wanted to make sure that they themselves were safe rather than Tim truly being safe.
Authorities say about 12 hours after the fall, the next morning, the brothers finally called for help. 18 fraternity brothers now facing charges after investigators found surveillance video showing it all unfold.
Of course, it's a tragedy, but, you know, that doesn't mean there was any intent involved in any of this.
This is the result of a feeling of entitlement, flagrant disobedience of the law, and disregard for moral values.
The university already permanently banning the fraternity, saying hazing and dangerous drinking are not permitted.
And that security video really the key here, showing in detail exactly what happened that night. One of the defense attorneys calling it a blessing and a curse.
The more we learn about what allegedly happened that night, the more disturbing the story becomes. Eva, thank you. Let's turn now to a murder mystery at a luxury apartment building in Boston.
Two doctors engaged to be married. They were killed in their own home. A suspect was caught after a police shootout, and ABC's Ariel Reshef has more.
This $2 million penthouse in South Boston, the scene of a gruesome double murder.
Got a message from his friend saying that there's a gunman in the house.
Boston PD storming the condo Friday night.
We just ran in as the shots were being fired. We're going to need at least 2 shields and a long gun for cover.
Police saying they found 30-year-old Bampuman Texera firing shots. Officers returning fire, then taking Texera into custody on a stretcher.
You know, we have a guy here who just killed 2 people and nothing to lose.
Doctors Lena Bolaños and Richard Field later found dead inside the home. News of the murder sending shockwaves of grief through the Boston medical community. The hospital where Bolaños worked saying Dr. Bolaños was an outstanding pediatric anesthesiologist and a wonderful colleague in the prime of both her career and life. Fields colleagues calling his death a tragic loss.
Police say the suspect and the victims knew one another but aren't disclosing how. Texera is expected to face several charges, including murder. His arraignment is set for Monday.
Horrible story, Ariel.
Horrific.
Thank you very much. Really
Thanks,
appreciate
Ariel.
it.
And it is time now for the weather. As we said, Rob Marciano is in Sunrise, Florida. He's taking part in the Wings for Life World Run, and he is in the midst of that run right now. Rob, you're looking fine. You're looking great, in fine form this morning.
Thank you. Well, we're just getting started. One thing about Florida, it's nice and flat, and humidity is low here. Wings for Life World Run, this is an amazing event. It's to benefit spinal cord research. About 2,000 people here, but over 100,000 people across 6 continents right now running for those who can't. You can't beat that. Weather here is dry, we mentioned that. Unfortunately, as beautiful as it is, we've got elevated fire risk today across Florida and Georgia where those fires are happening. And across the Southwest, same deal with the storm coming in there. Across the Northeast, cool and showery will be the ongoing trend. Sunny and beautiful here as we run for those who can. Time now for your local forecast. Check it out.
Jackets needed for your Sunday morning across the DMV. Those temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s, so definitely a cool start. A little bit more sunshine this morning, some cloud cover mixing in by the afternoon, and also some spotty scattered showers mainly south of the metro near Fredericksburg by the time we head into about 4 to 6 o'clock. Overnight tonight, temperatures fall back in the mid-30s to mid-40s. An early shower possible with partly cloudy skies, and it's still breezy and cool.
All right, check it. There's no finish line to this race. So after 30 minutes, I hope it make that long, they release a catch vehicle, chases you down. Once it catches you, you're done. So we're trying to make it for the full hour and continue to raise money and awareness for a good cause. How's this world run treating you guys, right?
No one's saying
You got a little better, right? Woo!
You're the only one who can talk while running.
He's laughing,
which is just incredibly impressive. And
hard to do.
I know. And Rob, you're gonna be doing this throughout the show, so we'll be touching base with you in the next half hour. Bravo! We salute you. Thank you very much.
You guys are psyched, right? I got peace signs.
That's good enough.
Yeah. We should say there is other news this morning, and for that, Ron is going to deliver the headlines from an elliptical machine.
Yes.
Good morning to you, Dan and Paul.
Doesn't quite have the same effect.
Good morning.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. Sympathetic exhaustion with Rob there. Anyway, we're going to begin overseas in Nigeria, where the government there announcing that 82 of the nearly 300 schoolgirls who were kidnapped and held captive for 3 years by the extremist group Boko Haram, they have been freed. This morning, the Red Cross tweeting this photo of some of the girls boarding a helicopter before making their way to the Nigerian capital. Officials saying that the girls were released in exchange for some Boko Haram members currently being held by authorities or had been held by authorities. The 2014 kidnapping sparked international outrage, with former First Lady Michelle Obama joining the Bring Back Our Girls campaign. The Nigerian government saying it's in negotiations to get more of those girls released from captivity. The Navy SEAL killed in Somalia earlier this week has been identified. He is Senior Chief Kyle Milliken of Falmouth, Maine. Officials said 38-year-old Milliken was killed in a firefight with the terror group Al-Shabaab outside of the Somali capital, Mogadishu. The 15-year Navy veteran is the first American service member killed in Somalia since 1993. And this morning, mandatory evacuations in parts of southeastern Georgia, where a wildfire that has been burning since early April spread to almost 20,000 acres on Saturday. The fire along the Georgia-Florida state line also causing a dense smoke advisory with the visibility expected to be less than a quarter of a mile at times. A U.S. Olympic bobsledder Stephen Holcomb, who took home the gold in the 2010 Vancouver Games, has died at the age of 37. The body of the 5-time world champion and 3-time Olympian was discovered in his room at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Lake Placid in upstate New York. The cause of death has not been determined.
Streaming in front. Oh,
Always Dreaming has won the Kentucky Derby.
And Derby Day at the Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Always Dreaming.